Good morning, friends, and this is Jody. Welcome to our 10-minute daily devotional. I hope you guys are doing great today, or excited as I am for Friday. It's a very cold Friday here in Atlanta, but the good news is my sister is coming in tonight to just hang out for the night on her way to Florida spring break with her 4 kids. So super excited about what we have in store for tonight. A crazy house. It'll be awesome. Let me open us up in a word of prayer. Dear Jesus, thank you so much for this day, God. Thank you that we can spend some time with you this morning. Please help us to really focus our minds on you, not only this morning, but throughout the day. We love you so much, Jesus. Amen. All right. Well, yesterday we said let's go right back through our journal and kind of look at some of the things, the prayers that Jesus has answered for us, and some of the things that we're still waiting, and on the things that we're still waiting on, maybe saying a prayer of thanksgiving that that something will happen out of that prayer request. And so hopefully you guys had a chance to look back through your journals. It's really a fun thing to do, and so hopefully you had a chance to do that. Let's jump into our devotional, Jesus Calling by Sarah Young this morning. We're on March 9th, and here we go. Rest in my radiant presence. The world around you seems to spin faster and faster till everything is a blur. Yet there is a cushion of calm at the center of your life where you live in union with me. Return to this soothing center as often as you can, for this is where you are energized, filled with my love, joy, and peace. So this really resonates with me today because I have a lot of stuff going on at work, and it's been a very overwhelming April just with a bunch of things going on. I got a new project yesterday, which I was expecting, but not really, and I have another project that somebody's talking with me about, and so it has been overwhelming. And last night I actually got a headache that would not go away. It was kind of I don't get migraines, but it felt like a migraine headache. I couldn't go to sleep and all of that, and so of course I start looking up, as we do, self-diagnose. Why do I have this headache right now based upon where it is? And it said stress. And so I don't feel like I have a lot of the symptoms right now of all this stress going on. But it said that one of the main reasons for the type of headache that I had, where it was stress. And this is so applicable for me, because that doesn't happen very often. I definitely get stressed out, but I don't get headaches from it. That this is so applicable for me right now. Rest in my radiant presence. Stop with the madness of working all the time and rest. And that is so easy to say and so hard to do. And even as I say it, I think to myself, how do I rest? I have a family. I have to feed them. I have, I have all these job things that I've committed to. How do I rest? And job things that are on the horizon. And if you say no, will other things come? And it takes me back to a book that we read. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of the book, but it was by an author, and she is a really famous speaker and just really funny. And she said that she did not take an assignment because she just felt like it wasn't the time. And immediately after she made that decision, she felt at peace. And it was an assignment where she was going to be on TV. And she said immediately after, she felt peace about that decision, and she kind of thought it would be a career-limiting move, but it wasn't by any means. And so I think for me, that's something I have to remember, and maybe for all of us, to take on extra chores and responsibilities, take on extra volunteering. I've heard so many people right now that say in their life, every season of life you volunteer in different ways, right? Right now with 3 kids, my efforts of that should maybe be focused on my family, and then later in life I can do other types of volunteer activities. So anyways, I just think that, and so then it all goes back to praying, right? Where does God want me to spend my time? God, where do you want me to spend my time? Where should I focus? And give me the energy and the inclination to rest, and to not put too much on my plate that I can't rest. Ooh, it's so easy to say. Back to the book. This world is a needy place. Do not go there for sustenance. Instead, come to me. Learn to depend on me alone, and your weakness will be saturated with my power. Your weakness will be saturated with my power. When you find your completeness in me, You can help other people without using them to meet your own needs. Live in the light of my presence, and your light will shine brightly into the lives of others. I think that's beautiful. Live in the light of my presence, and your light will shine brightly into the lives of others. I think that is such a cool statement. And what I take away from this today, though, is go to Jesus. We all need rest. If we don't feel like we're getting it, go to Jesus and say, how can I get my rest? But I too love this last sentence. Live in the light of my presence, and your light will shine brightly into the lives of others. Isn't that the most important thing? I kind of think that that's why we're here, so that we can live for Jesus, and so that we can get closer to him and tell others about him. And so by living in the light of his presence, our light will shine brightly into the lives of others. So for me today, this kind of encompassed two themes, and one of them is the rest that I'm not getting and I need to focus on, and the other one is shining brightly for Jesus. And if I'm not getting that rest, I'm not going to be shining brightly like I need to. Let's read Galatians 5:22. All right, so back in the New Testament here, General Electric Power Company, Galatians, Ephesians, Colossians, Philippians. Sorry, I always have to look it back up. Galatians 5:22. All right, here we go. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. And it actually stops there, but I'll finish. Gentleness and self-control. Against such things there is no law. So we were only to read verse 22, talking about the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. What's funny is when I was a kid, we did plays at church. And one of the plays we did was on the fruit of the Spirit. And I think we all dressed up as different fruits, even though they're not. And sang songs. It was so cute. And so every time I hear about the fruit of the Spirit, that little play comes back to me. And it was so fun. I loved it so much. And we knew all of the fruits because we sang songs about them. And it was awesome. So, however, back to what we're hearing in this verse, I love learning about the fruits of the Spirit and the things that we should try and incorporate into us. And from the reading, I feel peace is kind of one of them that the reading talked about. If we have the peace, and we'll bring joy into other people's lives. Faithfulness, we need to stay faithful to Jesus. Let's read 1 John 4:12. So that's at the very end of the New Testament. Not quite to Revelation. All right, 1 John 4:12. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God lives in us, and his love is made complete in us. I love this. If we love one another, God lives in us, and his love is made complete in us. So this verse really focusing on love one another. And, what can you do today to show love for someone? So what I think I'd like to do today, I'd like to go back. I don't feel like we've done it in a couple of days. Go back to praying every hour on the hour. And that was really one of my favorite things to do. And when Deb had suggested that she did it for a family member, I loved that. So what I'm going to do today is just kind of say, take this verse, if we love one another, God lives in us and his love is made complete in us. And on the hour, every hour today, pray for somebody. And it can be someone in your family, it can be a friend, it can be anybody, it can be, yourself. Let's try and focus on others for the most part. But pray for somebody. And if you feel comfortable, you could tell that person you're praying for them. But just every hour, maybe pray for a different person. And so let's write down the date of March 9th. And let's write the verse down. So it's 1 John 4:12, right? Yeah, 1 John 4:12. And the verse is, put a ... because we'll just put, we won't write the first part of it, but we'll put, if we love one another, God lives in us. If we love one another, God lives in us. And his love is made complete in us. And his love is made complete in us. All right, so through that verse, we'll pray every hour on the hour. If you forget, who cares? Just pray when you think about it. But try to use that as a reminder. Pray every hour on the hour for someone. So let's write down our praise and our prayer request. I'm praying for my friend Scott today, who is driving with a bus full of 8th graders home from Washington, D.C., and it's a long drive all the way to Florida. My praise is that I had a friend that had vocal surgery yesterday, and it went really well. So that's a good news story. All right, let me close this in prayer. Dear Jesus, thank you so much for this day, God. Thank you so much for loving us, for giving us this reminder of resting in you, that if we have too much on our plate, it's hard to focus on you, and I definitely needed that reminder today, God. So I thank you for putting this in my life to give me that reminder and to just help me think through and help me figure out what can I take off my plate so that I can be more restful in you and not get overwhelmed and not get a headache. And please just help me with that. And I think the big thing for me is for you to help me realize what I can take off my plate right now. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this group that we have. I love them so much, and in this time, the 2 months that we've been together, I've just grown to love some of these people like family, and I just thank you so much for them. Dear Lord, please help us to have a great day and a great weekend. We love you so much. Amen. All right, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.